Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grip Lock, Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. I'm Hunter, joined as always by Trevor and Konner.
Whoop, whoop.
Last episode ever.
Season's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Which means it's time for the off-season.
Whoop, whoop.
Coming very soon.
I love the off-season.
It's going to be electric. But what it actually means is we'll have the Tour Championship recap episode is what you're listening to right now. We'll talk through that, the final top 10 of the year, so on and so forth. I also have preseason. We predicted the winner to every single Disc Golf Pro Tour event in MPO.
That's awesome.
So I have who won that, our standings here. And we also preseason, Trevor and I both did a top 10 end-of-year predictions. We were dumb enough that we didn't list who was whose. So
I actually know.
Trevor, good thing Trevor knows, because I've looked at this list and I was
the
like,
answer based off of one thing and one thing only, and that's where AB is located in the standings. And also, I also remember that I put Radallen in mine.
okay.
So I know that one's mine.
So we'll go over that and look at that as well, and then run through. Really, the big thing on the list today, other than the top 10, is we need to come up with our in-the-bag punishment and prize list before we head into the off-season.
Gosh, that's going to be
Which
a long
that starts
segment.
2 weeks from now.
Feel like
Next
we
week,
probably should have thought about that before this episode.
I wanted it to be on our toes.
Oh, okay.
So I think we do our best thinking on our toes.
I can predict how that segment's going to go. 5 minutes of a lot of silence and no decisions made.
And me making a lot of stupid jokes.
I'll explain my thought when we get there.
Okay,
But I
that's
have
good.
a thought.
He has a thought. That's good.
I've thought it through.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. I thought through this episode this time. We're not just going to start Googling how to rank tier list. All right? Not going to happen.
How to watch disc golf.
Yeah. So that's not going to happen. But what is going to happen is I'm going to tell you about who makes these episodes possible.
Oh, God bless.
First off, shout out to our sponsor, Discbox. Most disc golfers have a stash of extra discs. For some, it's dozens. For some, it's hundreds. And for many, it takes the form of unruly piles and stacks that just don't fit properly into any container and waste a lot of space.
Yeah, your boy.
But now, there is a storage solution called Discbox. Discbox is the only low-cost disc golf storage product on the market. Discbox is a simple disc storage bin that holds up to 30 discs, requires no tape or glue, and is made from recycled material in the USA. So go to discboxdg.com and you'll find quantity discounts, wholesale options, multiple colors, and most importantly, no order minimum. So you can order just a single box if you want. Discbox also makes a great players pack item. So visit discboxdg.com today and get your collection organized. Don't forget to use code FOUNDATION for 15% off your order.
Whoop, whoop.
We also want to shout out Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games with the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack, poker, or unwind with over 150 slots games. Head to the website today and get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering, Bet Online. The game starts here. You can check them out on social media at betonline_AG. Let's talk about the Tour Championship.
One more thing.
Oh, one more thing.
In the realm of ads.
Sorry.
Tomorrow, 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
on our YouTube channel.
You know where it is.
You are not going to want to miss this. Our first episode of our reality series is dropping.
Imposter Disc Golf reality show. I'm beyond excited.
It might be the spiciest piece of disc golf content you will have ever absorbed.
It is going to be so fun.
You're going to need a glass of milk.
It's like, it was so good that we all lived it, but like, I'm going to watch every single episode front to back.
I already told Liz, clear the calendar.
Yeah.
I got to watch it
It's
tomorrow.
so good. So 5 p.m., hop onto YouTube, run on over to our channel tomorrow, being Tuesday the 22nd, depending on when you're listening to this. Check it out.
And I do want to make an important note. If you're listening to that and you're like, I hate reality TV, that sounds awful, great news. We intentionally shot this in a way that you can consume it kind of how you want. So the disc golf part of it will feel kind of like a normal imposter video, all 5 episodes. But then there's going to be the voting aspect and all of that stuff. You'll have to see how it all goes down kind of towards the end too. So
yeah,
there's a lot of reality stuff mixed in for sure.
But there's also a lot of disc
But
golf.
you can just pick and choose and be like, oh, that format sounds fun. Oh, what happened in this one? I want to click on that one and just watch a great disc golf video in the middle there. So I'm very, 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 very excited for this. I think you're going to absolutely love it. So be sure to tune into that. Again, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, October 22nd, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Foundation Disc Golf's main YouTube channel. Tour Championship went down. Big money. Missy Gannon just continues to solidify her name. She was able to take this tournament down yet again with Kristen Tatar and Owen Scoggins coming in second. Trevor's actually talking before we filmed this of Big Money Missy. Like, that's just a true nickname at this point.
It is.
Like, when it first came out, it was like, yeah, she won.
I think she
like
had
two
won,
of the big ones.
She had won like Ledgestone
I think
and then a Tour Championship.
It might have been Tour Championship and Throw Pink.
Or so, yeah, I think
it was
that's
something
what
like
it was.
that.
But she had only like done it in like one stretch of one season, and people were throwing it out there, and it was kind of like, okay, but it was fun. But now we've gotten this far, and it does seem that like when there's the most money on the line, a lot of times being this event, she's getting it done. And to be fair, she won a lot more than just like a couple big money events this year. But no, it's crazy that I think.
How much money was on the line?
Has she actually?
She won $35,000.
Woo,
What does that put her earnings to for the year?
Earnings, so they haven't updated it yet, so she's at $69,000 now, plus the 35 will put her at 104,000 and some change.
I think has she done six figures ever? Because this might be her highest earning season.
I'm not sure. I was just going to look. So she has now made over $100,000 from the Tour Championship alone. She's won it in 2021, 2023, and now 2024, earning $105,000 from playing this event. That's just winning this event. That doesn't count when she's not won it, and she still would have cashed decently because this tournament just pays out really well. You're asking about last season?
Yeah.
Last season she won $94,000.
Almost.
2022 she won $54,000.
Well, she didn't win the Tour Championship that year.
2021 she won $67,000.
Okay.
So this will be her first time breaking $100,000
Nice.
in career earnings.
Just a great way to end the season.
It is a great way. And
just getting like 30% of your earnings for the season in one event.
I think Kristen Tatar will also break $100,000 this year.
Well,
let me check this. Yeah, she's at 85, and she would have just won 16 for the tie for second. So she will also cross $100,000, which is really impressive because this is going to be. She only played. This was her 18th tournament in FPO.
Yeah.
Whereas Missy Gannon played
probably like 25.
25. This was Gannon's 25th.
I watch disc golf.
You are Mrs. Gannon. I don't know. So Kristen was able to do it with 8 less tournaments and still cross $100,000, without winning the Pro Tour. Without winning the Pro Tour Championship, which is crazy. But yeah, Big Money Missy did it again. She came out the gates of the tournament with a 1-stroke lead coming in, but she started slow. And then after that first round, she just kept getting better as the weekend went on. She shot a 1-under opening round, then she shot a 5-under round 2, then an 8-under round 3, and then capped it off with a 9-under final round. In that final round, she was exchanging blows with Owen and Kristen. I think it was like through 3 holes. They were actually all 3 tied for the lead at one point.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And then it just kind of kept going back and forth. Owen, I think, was the one that was the last one really challenging her. But with the final stretch of that course, it was like, if Missy doesn't play well, this is far from over because there's a lot of OB that comes in on especially 17 and 18. There's still plenty of gaps to hit down the stretch. But Missy held on. Like she went bogey-free, clean, 5-under on the back 9 there, which was a plenty to win by 2 strokes.
Yeah, I expected, honestly, what's funny is, and we'll talk about the MPO, but I expected there to be more violent swings in FPO towards the top of the leaderboard. But, I mean, obviously, once you get past fifth place, realistically, there's some pretty big drop-offs. But the top-end players that were playing really well in FPO were pretty steady. I think everybody got a little shell-shocked in round 1, but they kind of just played pretty steady rounds of golf, and there wasn't a ton of blow-ups. Like, that course for them definitely played a little different, and I think it ended up being a pretty good event. I think, honestly, in FPO in general, like, since Worlds, I feel like, where obviously we had a pretty big collapse from Hall and Hanley and then kind of Cap Merch as well down the stretch, we've seen, and I think a lot of it has to do with when Kristen's playing well. That helps. Like, she's been playing pretty consistently since then. But we've seen each event there be a few players that are like being pretty consistent and not causing those giant jumps in the leaderboards, which has been refreshing. Like there was some good golf played by Missy, Owen, and Kristen this weekend, and it made it pretty entertaining. And yeah, Missy, this course, like it makes sense for her. She just won an MVP as well, but on these heavily wooded tracks, I think she is pretty good when her game is clicking and when she's hitting gaps. She kind of just has the shots for it, and it paid off. And yeah, once again, Tour Championship, Big Money Missy.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
What really separated her is down that stretch, the holes 12 through 18. She was able to play that 4-under, whereas Owen Scoggins played it even. Kristen ended up playing it 3-under, but she started it slower. So by the time they got towards the back, Missy really just kind of had to not really put it in cruise control. Like I said, you can't take your foot off the gas just because 17 and 18 numbers can get big quick.
Yeah.
But she didn't let it happen. And what I thought was cool, this happened with Missy and it happened with Ricky and Gannon on 17. They must have had a video board off to the left because they would throw their shot on 17 and it would land and like people would clap, and then they were obviously asking like, well, how close did I get? And they would like turn and just look. Gannon's known for pulling his phone out and looking.
Yeah, I saw that a few times.
Missy threw and she put it to like, I mean, let me see what it technically gives her. It looked like 5 feet. It gave her 6 feet on 17, and I saw her tap her husband and like point over, like, let's watch where this lands. And then she like kind of was able to breathe a sigh of relief because at that point, 18 played as a par 5 for FPO. You'd have to throw pretty bad when you're able to play as safe as she, because she could have bogeyed it and been completely fine.
Yeah.
Realistically, she could have what? She could have doubled. No, she could have bogeyed it.
Yeah, double would have put her in a playoff.
Yeah, she could have bogeyed it and still won. Yeah. So to play where I can up to bogey it, you would have to mess up pretty shockingly bad. And so the whole 17 really kind of sealed the deal there. So I think that watching that thing come in, she probably had that moment of realization, like, I just won $35,000 and the Tour Championship, which was awesome. And yeah, it kind of shook up how we expected it with Kristen and Owen being in there. I think both of us picked these three as our top 3 on the preview show.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
I can look at that right now. Let me pull that up. I think both of us picked that because these courses just lined up.
The order was important.
Holland Handley was the other player who was kind of in the mix coming in. I don't have your picks.
I'll have to go. I'm gonna have to go get it.
Because I had Kristen, Missy, Owen.
Oh, I think I had Missy Kristen.
Then you might have.
Hold on.
Because I went Missy. Where'd I?
By Trevor.
Going into this week, if you don't listen to the preview show, I had a 2-point lead on Trevor.
I had Missy own Kristen.
So it still works though, because they came in, they tied for second. So I had the worst possible selection with Kristen, Missy, Owen.
So because
I got 2 points, Trevor got 6. Because Owen came in second. They tied for second.
I think you're cooked.
I think I'm cooked. Because in an MPO, it doesn't. I don't even know if it matters. I might have just lost it with that.
No. MPO does matter because you picked Gannon to win. I did not.
Yeah, that's true. I went Gannon, Ricky, Isaac. So I got 2 in a row. I got both of them in MPO. I got the 1-2 in MPO.
So
we'll do math in a second.
So I think we'll
do math in a second. It might be a wash. I might have held on. But anyways, crazy. FPO, very impressive battle down the stretch. The final crazy thing that happened was you had Owen Scoggins and Kristen Tatar tied going into 18.
Yeah.
Kristen, they both throw their drive, both throw their second shot. They're now approaching for the birdie look. Kristen throws first, puts it to, I'll call it 25. I can actually tell you because she made the putt, so I can tell you what she put it to.
Around 25.
32 is what they gave her on 18. On coverage, it was definitely inside the circle. On coverage, it looked like 25-ish. So she threw, and so now it's all on Owen because what they're playing for is second place got $20,000, third place got $12,000. They're both tied for second at this moment.
Which is honestly, like, it makes this tournament. This is the best thing about this tournament is even once the winner is kind of locked in, like, you see these people coming in just trying to, like, get into a tie for fourth or, like, work their way up to the podium.
And so you see Kristen puts it in position where she has a putt to at least tie for second. But now it's all on Owen. And Owen Scoggins steps up. If you didn't see hole 18, basically she's playing from OB, attacking a green that plays like an island. And there's a Mando that isn't really in play from how far up FPO gets because they're able to go 2 shots, whereas MPO is throwing 1 shot to cover that same distance. So FPO, they're able to almost swing a backhand in a little bit. So the Mando's pretty far off to the right, but you still have to go left of it. And so Owen Scoggins steps up.
I guess you had to throw backhand for distance reasons.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Or maybe the wind. I don't know. But she steps up to throw a backhand. It might have also been the way the green shaped. The forehand would have been fading towards OB and the backhand's fading towards safe. Yeah. She steps up and the nerves got to her and she just yanks it. Like a solid, if I was guesstimating 30 some feet off of her line. Not close to her line. And it looks for a minute like it's going to miss the Mando. Like I said, that's not really that much in play. Instead, it doesn't miss the Mando. It squares the Mando pole, like glances it as it goes, and the Mando pole redirects it like 85 degrees back left and puts it on a beeline straight towards the basket to where it checks up at, let's see what it actually gives her.
Just barely clears the wall, too.
It checks up at 8 feet. So she yanks it 30 feet to the right, hits this Mando pole, checks up to 8 feet. All of a sudden, Kristen Tatar now has to hit a close to circle's edge putt for $4,000. So Kristen's roller coaster of emotions are she's watching this. Okay, I threw a good shot, whatever. She sees her competitor, yanks it, and is probably thinking, there you go. I just made $20,000. It hits the Mando pole, kicks back in, and now Kristen's back in the mindset of, I have to make a 25-footer so that I make $16,000 instead of $12,000. And then she steps up with they gave her a 32-foot putt that's worth $4,000, and she cashed it dead center.
Wow.
But it was crazy that redirection is what gave, that was a $4,000 redirection for Owen Scoggins.
Let me put you in my shoes.
I couldn't even make that putt for a handshake.
And I think you guys could probably align with this. Like if I'm in that situation where, okay, so the difference is $4,000, right?
Yeah. So
I'm walking down the fairway, Owen's out of bounds or whatever, and I'm already in my mind thinking about what I'm going to do with that $4,000. Like I'm thinking, and then I see that happen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I lose this $4,000, the cruise is off the table. What am I going to, I would be devastated. Yeah. That is such a tough
I think
break.
That,
I don't even know if I wouldn't want to pick up a disc for a month.
My mind works in the same way, Trevor, and I think that's part of what gives us the inability to make that putt.
Well, but
no, I wouldn't have made the putt.
For Kristen, if she would have missed the putt, it would have been an $8,000.
Yeah, say it already cost her that she tied her, and it would have cost her even more.
The moment it released Owen's hands,
$8,000.
The moment it leaves Owen's hands, there's no chance it's coming back in.
Yeah,
looks wise. Now, could the camera angle have been deceptive or something? Maybe. But looks-wise, there's no shot on earth that thing's coming back in bounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It looked like it might even miss the Mando, which is then it doesn't even matter what happens to the shot after that. Kristen's just made 20 Gs, and then it kicks. And then out of nowhere, you have all the pressure on, I have to make this putt, or else I go from a secured $20,000 in my head to, if I miss this putt, I make $12,000.
The funniest part to me is the clip obviously looks so ridiculous because you've got this giant soccer field essentially. Not essentially, it is a soccer field.
Yeah, lines are still there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then just one giant power pole, and that's what Owen kicks off of. But that's all that they've been doing for basically 15 or 16 holes for 4 days in a row. There's just a whole lot of trees, so it doesn't look as crazy. That's just what woods golf is. It's just when you stick it out in the open and you see how ridiculous it can be sometimes. I think that is listen, I'm not somebody who's get rid of woods golf. I accept that part of disc golf when you play in the woods is you need to make the fairways as fair as possible, but if you go offline, there is going to be luck involved. That's just how it is. But I think that some people who love woods golf will probably look at that clip and be like, that's ridiculous. That was so lucky. And it's that's what woods golf is a lot of the time. You rip it off your line and you get awesome kicks.
Yeah.
It was a very crazy kick because not only did it kick her back in, it also just got over that wall as well.
Well, I think what's crazy is I don't even think I would have considered it a crazy kick in the woods.
No.
In the woods, if someone pulls it offline and it gets back to the fairway, you're like,
well, because in the woods, when you pull it offline and there's a wooded wall of trees, you basically have a 50-50 shot of either I'm kicking right, or I guess it's 33%. I'm either missing everything, I'm kicking right, or I'm kicking left. So you're thinking, I got a pretty good chance of this kicking left. You're not even super surprised. It's when you see it isolated like that, it makes it look so improbable because there was only one thing to hit instead of all the trees.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it is still I get it. It is still a very improbable, crazy clip for that sense. I'm just saying that is oftentimes what happens in the woods. It just gets covered up by the fact that there was all those trees to hit. Of course, you were going to hit some, rather than there just being the one.
If there was no trees there, just the one tree that you hit,
then
you still hit that tree.
Right, exactly.
That is a crazy way to think about it, Trev. Crazy perspective.
Yeah.
Maybe
my
next
paradigm just got
maybe
changed.
next year they'll just dress it up like a tree, USDGC style.
Maybe. Well, they won't be there next year.
Good
They'll be
point.
in Lynchburg next year.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
They'll play the very fair course with no bad or lucky breaks, Ivy Hill. Shout out.
We'll talk about that in a
Angela.
second. We'll talk about that in a second. Flip side, MPO. Gannon Buhr is inevitable. So Gannon Buhr takes this down. He becomes the first player in PDGA history to earn $200,000
Maybe
in
the
a
last
single season.
Maybe the last.
Ricky Wysocki came in second.
I wish they would have asked him for a speech. I would love to hear what he had to say about it.
They did.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what are you talking about? Ricky Wysocki came in second. Ezra Robinson came in third. So similar to Missy, Gannon came into this with a one-stroke lead. came out a little flat. He shot a 4 under, found himself 2 back of Ricky after round 1. Then round 2 was one of the greatest rounds of disc golf you've really seen.
I couldn't even believe what happened.
They went blow for blow. Ricky Wysocki shot a 12 under par. Gannon Buhr shot a 13 under par. The previous course record was a 10 under par. They kind of separated themselves from the field at that point. I was thinking after that, it's over. Gannon's won.
It was
mainly because
it was bogey free as well.
I think they both went bogey free.
Like, how do you do that? Well,
it was disgusting.
That just shows you, and like this course was isn't a super long course, so like it comes down to hitting gaps. And that just shows you that, like, when the best players in the world, especially Gannon and Rick, when they get on to where they're just not missing gaps, they can take any gap you want and they're going to hit it. Like, there are some evil gaps to hit on
What's
this
crazy
course.
with Gannon is Gannon actually missed a circle 1 putt that round, too.
That's so like him, though. I feel like every time he has an unconscious round like that, he's like, he could have shot 2 better.
On hole 6, he had a birdie putt that he missed.
Dude, he's just unreal.
But anyway, so I was, in my head, Gannon cut it to 1 there, right? But I was thinking, I thought that won it for Gannon, mainly because I was thinking, being in Ricky's shoes, how exhausting it had to be to go shoot 12 under, beat the current course record by 2, and you lose a stroke to the guy chasing you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
That's
what I was thinking.
Tough day.
But then round 3 happens, and Ricky's able to stay hot and fire a 10 under par and open up a 6-stroke lead over Gannon Buhr going into the final day.
And at this point, like, Rick, whenever you get him in this tournament, whenever there's this much money on the line, turns into a different animal. Like, even if he's not having the best season, he's been fine this season, but he always just, like, turns up a little extra. After I saw that round 3, I'm like, like that.
He was raptor legging stuff in left and right.
I'm like, this is like classic 35K on the line Rick right here. He's just gonna walk this one in.
Well, he also 6-stroke lead like that. Gannon actually, obviously, you know the ending. Gannon won. Gannon in the closing interview even said like he kind of thought it was over. Like he knew there was kind of a chance, but he's like, I felt a little defeated coming to the final day.
Because the guy
you're 6 strokes back of Ricky Wysocki.
And the guy he was chasing just fired off 2 double-digit rounds.
He went 12 under, 10 under.
Like, so if he does that again, you can't catch him.
So Gannon had said going into it that he had told Gavin, one of his friends, if you don't know, he had told Gavin, like, my goal is to make up 3 strokes in the first 5 holes, and then we'll just see what happens after that. And he did. He made up 3 strokes in the first 5 holes, and he ended up closing the gap, going 7 under through 10 holes. Ricky was even, so through 10 holes, Gannon Buhr had the lead.
Yeah.
Gannon started off 7 through 10. Ricky
so flat.
Just came out flat. He had a few birdies, a few bogeys, even par through 10 holes. And then after that, it turned absolutely electric, because then I think it was the moment like Ricky wasn't going to just go down dying.
He was going to kick in.
Ricky was going to go down swinging. So on 11, you had a 2-stroke swing back in Ricky's favor. So now Ricky's back up by 1. Then 2 holes later on 13, you have a 2-stroke swing back in Gannon's favor. Then Gannon was back up 1. Then 14, Ricky ties it back up. Then 15, Gannon takes the lead again. And then you have the 16, 17, 18. Ricky gave himself a long putt on 16, just missed it. 17, 18, they both go birdie,
16
birdie.
is gnarly.
It was crazy. I mean, and even 17, Ricky, he made it look so nonchalant, but he had to hit like a 30-some footer for his birdie.
Talk about the drives on 18.
Crazy.
Like Gannon throwing a pretty, like, they make that look so easy. It is such a small landing area, and then Rick literally putting himself within like 4 inches probably of the end of that second OB bubble. Like, he did everything he could on those last few holes. Gannon Buhr is just impossible to beat if you let him get to you. Like, if you let him catch up or get a lead, you cannot beat that guy.
I do feel a little, because this is how we're talking about this is exactly how I would have talked about in a podcast about like any of the 2012 through 2019 Macbeth in relation to the same person, Ricky Wysocki.
Somebody posted the whole Paul 2015 thing in the Instagram comments, and everybody was in there like, this isn't even within miles of the Paul 2015 season. You guys are jokesters, bro. You guys are jokesters.
Yeah.
You can't even be. You gotta be kidding me.
The thing I was trying to mention was like, I saw someone posted. It was Paul in like 20, I don't even know, 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there with like a 9-year-old Gannon Buhr. or 10-year-old Gannon Buhr, and it said Paul Macbeth and the person he chose to continue tormenting Rick after he's done.
That's really
it is
funny.
like it's Ricky
That
Wysocki.
is crazy.
It just keeps getting chased down by Paul Macbeth. He finally has a little air of dominance, and then you have this like kind of back and forth. Is it Calvin next? Is whatever?
That is so
and then
funny.
now Gannon Buhr just chased him down, and this tied the largest disc golf pro tour comeback ever.
Yeah.
Final round comeback. It tied Simon Lizotte coming back on Corey Ellis in 2022 MVP, which that was from a chase card. But Gannon Buhr did it on the biggest stage in the sense of money. Which you could tell both
they
of
were
them.
fired up.
They were fired up.
I'll say, like, the thing
there
is...
was multiple times that they threw a putt from, like, longer than I typically make a putt.
Yeah.
And the second it left their hands, they were, like, fist pumping and clapping. I'm like, how do you guys know it's going to go in?
Even and
like, how's that?
Also,
guys, you just threw the putt. It's 2 feet out of your hand.
Also, like, drives, too, that were barely out of their hand. Like, you could, like, when these guys are not rich enough yet, that, like, 35, like, that money meant a lot. You can tell. And that's why I'm saying, like, man, I want somebody with a lot of money, or like a Dylan Cease, or maybe it's crowdfunded. I don't know, but figure out some way to get a disc golf purse up to like $500,000 or $1 million. I just want to see it play out one time.
I want to see people cry.
I want to see people freaking out, just doing stuff that they would never do on the disc golf course. I want to watch the best putters in the world just shake and brick and 15-footers.
Well, it seems like the best putters in the world would start raptor legging in from like 80 feet is what it seems like would happen.
Well, yeah, when there's $35K to win, not $250,000.
Do you think it would change for Gannon and Rick?
Yes. If the money, well,
do you think they would get do you think they would get nervy and miss a 20-footer?
I think that it's a little different putting for a difference of 15,000 than potentially 100,000.
Well, there is a study though. Now this is a study. This is a study about like.
I want a tournament where only the
Now,
person at first gets money.
Now, what I will say is there might be like a nerves limit.
That's what I'm saying. There was a study on essentially the way you react to when there's a prize for a giveaway. This is obviously a different situation, but I'd be curious if it applied. And essentially, once a prize reached above a
there's always a threshold.
$10 gift card or something, it didn't matter if you were giving away $500 or a brand new Mercedes-Benz. It triggered the same response in people.
Yeah, well, and it always depends.
So I wonder if that's the same in disc golf. Because I mean, to me, once a putt's worth more than like $100, like my nerves, I can't really get more nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a good question.
So would their clutch gene be like this putt is the difference between $20,000 and $35,000? Would their clutch gene change at all when it's like this putt's between $50,000 and $100,000?
Well, I would say
I think it does. It can change the nervousness.
I would say
like,
pretty confidently.
If you're like this money changes my family's life this year, or this money changes my future family's life for generations.
Well, but you also have to remember Ricky Wysocki makes $1 million a year.
Right. I would say I think it depends on how much money does the player already make, and then also yes, I agree. If it was $35K to even maybe $100,000, maybe that's not a huge jump. But if you get to like, okay, winner take all, $250,000, I think it does have to get it a little bit.
But there's
different.
just some people, and I don't know if this is Gannon or Rick.
But yeah,
but there's some people that just like legitimately, that people have studied people's brains and like they don't feel nerves, or they feel nerves as almost adrenaline, where it just makes them better.
Well, yeah, I will say
that's
this.
no one talking on this podcast.
Yeah,
but that might be Ricky and Gannon.
It is fair to say that yes, if Gannon and Ricky, like seemingly they're able to channel those nerves into good play, and if that's the case, then yes, it probably would not matter.
But we might see a player what if they channel into good play to the point they get so nervous that we saw them average like 1,200 rated golf?
Could happen.
They just went out and they just birdied.
It's pay to win.
Yeah.
Well, what I will say
birdie
is,
18 holes.
regardless of the nerves thing, what it will increase is the emotion. After the fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd
because
be
losing or
electric.
gaining the money, I just think like that is the one thing about this tournament that makes it a spectacle still, because like you saw the gallery there. It was fine.
It was, I think, bigger than last year from what I remember, but it still was not big.
It's nothing to write home about, which is kind of sucks, because it is like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Gannon Buhr on 17, within 5 feet of him throwing, the crowd is like not even really too deep. Like it's like, it looks like if you had just walked up after he had settled into a shot, you could walk right up to the front and touch him basically. And I'm like, that just shows you how like not huge the gallery was. And that to me is like, that's crazy. Like you have it's all the top players. They're playing in like groups of 3, and you get these like this like really special access to them. I don't know.
They weren't playing in groups.
They
of
were
three.
not playing groups of 3. I
No.
misspoke because they weren't showing any of the fourth person
You
shot.
just got clipped.
Yeah. You just got clipped. Gannon just clipped you.
They might
I
as
think
well
that
have been.
Like something.
I said that because I thought they were because they stopped showing clips of the fourth person on the lead card, and so
They did. No, because they were showing Niklas towards the end.
For the last couple holes, he was
struggling, but-
I think there was an entire 2 holes they did not show a
they
shot.
didn't show everything.
To the point where I was like, I literally had to like look it up because I forgot that he was
No,
there.
he was slipping. He wasn't having the best day.
One of the things that stand out to me the most there, Hunter, what was it that you said that Gannon said to Gavin? He said he's going to try to go.
He's going to try to go. He wants to make up 3
three
strokes
through-
in the first 5.
That is, I think that just like is such a wise way to dissect a round like that. Because I know me and probably most normal people who aren't competing at such a high level would see that whole round as just like, there's no way that I'm making it back. So there's kind of like, I'm just going to play out of my mind, or I'm just not going to really have a plan. I'm just going to play the best golf in front of me or whatever. But like still that sometimes doesn't transfer. But whenever you dissect it to first 5 holes, I'm trying to get 3 strokes. I feel like that right there even shows that Gannon like doesn't only just have like a really good play, but he's got like a really like wise game as well. Like that, like he had a good game plan going
Most
into
of
that.
golfers just wouldn't even have looked at the scores.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like that's such a good way to look at it, to actually dissect parts of the round to meet your goals for those holes. It's crazy to me. The Raptor just couldn't outrun the Iceman Avalanche.
No. Yeah, that ice meteor hit that Raptor a little different. But the other thing because then afterwards they obviously had interviews and yada, yada, yada. I did think it was funny. Gannon Buhr said he was going to hit $200,000 this year, kind of no matter what. He's like, so now I'm happy that I can actually have an off season instead of having to play a bunch of A tiers and B tiers. So
He was going to do it.
Yeah, that's what he's like that just kind of makes my next several weekends a little less stressful because I don't have to go find a way to make $4 grand.
Funny.
That's so funny.
And then Ricky, though, I don't really know if I agree with the way they do this, because if you go, MVP Open's the final playoff event. After MVP Open, they award the season-long points winners. So Gannon Buhr won the points, Ricky came in second, yada, 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 right? And they award the season-long points winners.
They should really do that at the end of the playoffs.
So they do that at the end of the MVP playoff, that tournament, right? Then at the end of this event...
No, that's what I'm talking about, this thing.
Yeah. At the end of this event, they award how it all shook up, because that like gives you the stroke advantages, right? And then at the end of this, you had Gannon first, Ricky second, Ezra third, and that's like the final tour standings, kind of.
Right.
And so then they awarded him again. But what sucked was, in this case, it is what it is, but in this case, you had Ricky Wysocki, who just lost a 6-stroke lead and $15,000 to Gannon Buhr. And, you know, it was funny contrast because you have Ezra Robinson, who came into the season kind of with like not many expectations, seemingly.
Yeah, no, he was like happy to.
And so he came in third, and he's just
well,
like...
he also didn't play himself out at first.
Yeah, he's just ecstatic.
That's the big
like, he's
thing.
just like, I can't believe I'm here. He's so excited.
He also would have been sad if he had been in first and then had been in third.
But like, you have him like super joyous, and then Ricky
And he
comes
won the
up.
brother battle. There's a little bit of a brother battle.
They're actually
going in that
tied
last
on the
round.
season, 10-10.
Oh.
Yeah, so hopefully they go play like a little Georgia B tier or something to settle it. That was a Nate Sexton idea.
10-10 for
We can host.
The season-long head-to-head.
Should
right.
Foundation host the brother
Whoa.
battle?
The final brother battle?
We
Whoever's
invited
up
to come.
in points wins.
Well, I mean, but not head-to-head. Like,
Yeah, but like if you had better finishes, that's the tiebreaker, surely.
maybe, but like, I mean, is that working with you and your brother?
Yeah.
If I'm
I
in
think-
second, no chance.
I think we host.
I think it's pretty cut and dry. I did better. What?
Well, no, I'm saying if it was me and Jimmy, and I'm in first,
Yeah.
of course that's my argument, is I did better, I have more points.
I think that's pretty.
But then if I'm in second,
foolproof.
my argument is, how many times you beat me? 10. I beat you 10.
I think,
That's that.
Tell it to a
Foundation
judge,
hosts
like,
the brother battle, and we
Yeah,
invite the
I love
Robinson
it.
brothers to come play New London, and we host them.
Winner take all.
Yeah,
I love
And
it.
All is not
Trevor
going to be a
hates
lot.
it. Trevor hates it. Points already settled the whole thing. Con, you and I will go out there. We got this.
I listen. I would. I don't think there's. I mean, that's how standings work. Like that's how they.
Hey man, it was a Sexton talking point on the broadcast.
Well,
I just wanted to
Sexton,
bring it up.
he's wrong.
Anyways,
How
then
dare you,
have
Trevor?
Also, I will say this: because did Ezra end up having more points on the year, or Isaac? Who actually ended up with points?
I can look it up for
this
you.
would be the one valid comeback.
surely
if it should-
Isaac, because he won
but
Worlds.
But I don't know if it did. I'm not sure that he did. It was close.
Ezra, Isaac, you guys
Okay,
need to
he
let
was.
us know.
Yeah,
how
Isaac
your
was.
So
conversation-
I'll
was up
say
by
if
2.
Isaac was behind, then at least he could have to come back and be like, well, I won a major. And then I would say brother battle's on. But the fact that he won a major and was ahead in points, you just can't compare.
I agree with you,
Can't
but I
compare.
still think we can make a brother battle
Yeah,
happen.
well, they still are 10-10 on the
Well,
season.
you can reach out then.
Okay.
Reach out.
electric.
It would be electric.
No, you're not allowed to watch.
I won't go.
Yeah, you're
I
not
will-
allowed.
I'll-
You're banned from it.
I will not go to the brother
Actually, you have to
battle.
play in it. You're the third brother. You're 0-20 on them.
Is that my punishment? I have to play with just like the juju.
Yeah, that's your punishment. Anyways, Ricky interviewed. So he comes in second. He walks up, and they hand him his trophy, and they basically give him the mic and like say whatever you want to say to the crowd. And Ricky, just having lost a
Yeah, that's
6-stroke
crazy.
lead, just having lost $15,000 to Gannon Buhr, basically did what any competitive person would, which is like, look, I'm really frustrated right now. I don't really have anything to say. Gannon played great, but there's no excuses for me to lose. I'm just really frustrated. And handed the mic back to Jeff Spring, and he's getting a bunch of flack on Facebook for that.
I think as a rule of
Which I think
thumb,
is kinda crazy.
you don't hand the mic for a speech to the guy who comes in second. It's one thing if there's a press conference afterwards.
Sure, and he had like 30 minutes to like decompress.
Right, but and also like
whatever.
it's not an environment where you're expected to be cheery. Like press conference, you can kind of just be
Yeah.
honest. But yeah, putting him on the stage like that and like in front of the cheery fans and the like in the winning moment, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
Just
we?
hand
Think?
him the
I mean,
mic.
I'm
Like,
all
what did you
about-
think he was gonna do?
I'm all about being a sport that has like nice people in it, but the expectation in disc golf is pretty unrealistic.
Dude just lost $15,000.
I
Here's
feel
my
like
thing.
in disc golf, the expectation is that everybody's so buddy with each other, which is like nice to be nice to each other, but also you want him to care enough about this tournament to be frustrated.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
He complimented Gannon. He said
doesn't-
Gannon played good.
Yeah, but if he doesn't care enough about winning this tournament, that whenever he loses, he's a little bit frustrated, still being respectful,
Totally.
but like being frustrated, then that's a bad sport.
I listen, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It has to be competitive.
Well, also,
that's our guy right there.
what's also crazy to me,
See, we got him.
like what other sport do you have a major championship type thing go down and you hand the mic to anyone other than the winner?
Never.
No,
Like I
yeah,
said,
that's
press
crazy.
conference, that's
Yeah,
one
sure.
thing. Heck, half the time they don't even show up.
Yeah, like
Shout out
that
Rory
makes
McIlroy.
sense. But like even in golf, like is there even really a final speech, or they just not broadcast
I
it?
think, well, I'll put
Like for the winner on the
yeah,
green,
yeah.
they give him the mic on the green and let him talk
they
to
have
the crowd.
they have a presentation, and I believe a lot of times that the winner does at least like thank the tournament organizer.
That makes
things
sense.
like
That makes sense.
But yeah, like I said, it's one thing
It
if you
comes
want to
from disc
hand
golf.
if you want to hand a runner-up trophy out, that's fine. I think tennis does that often. Obviously, like in like Olympic medal situation, like that's one thing, and they can accept their trophy and look a little sad, but have a trophy to show for it. Whatever, that's one thing. But yeah, giving them the mic there.
Well, it's a
What
very
and I
you're
don't
lucky
even-
you're lucky he even said a word.
I
in the
actually
mic.
don't even really like it. It does seem crazy. I want to hear from the people, like somebody in that situation,
But at a press
because I
conference.
want to hear the raw like response of it. But I just like
It was
just like
it was the stage they gave
it's just
him,
the
though.
environment. Yeah, that's
Well,
messed up.
it's a
Like I want to
very-
hear his thoughts.
Like take
on
him
it.
over to the Pro Tour tent
Yeah.
where it's just him and the reporter or whatever,
and let him
then
actually
do it
think
there.
about what he's saying instead
Yeah.
of just having being in front of.
It
those
definitely
people.
comes from disc golf because like if you go to your local C tier, that's what happens.
They
Really?
yeah, the runner.
It's like it's like because in disc golf
they'll be like taking second place so and so,
yeah,
and then
taking
they
second
come up
place
and they
and
grab their
$250.
Yeah.
You hand it to them, you shake it, and they're like, "I got to thank my sponsors, so and so."
That was Ricky,
blah blah
just had to
blah
thank
blah
his
blah blah.
sponsors.
Like that's what it comes from. It's like this was just on the fullest stage.
Did he thank Dynamic?
He didn't thank anyone. He thanked Gannon for playing good and basically said what everyone was expecting him to say.
I have the worst
ticked
habit.
off.
I know, I feel like this happened like 4 times this year. I have the worst habit of like, okay, Gannon won, cool, and then I turn it off, and then something awesome happens in the speeches, and I miss it every time.
You gotta watch the speeches.
I gotta
man.
watch the speeches.
Now I will say
Or
this.
sometimes in the booth. Oh, shout out favorite booth moment. Silas would get a kick out of this. Favorite booth moment of the tournament was it goes to they go to Terry and in the booth basically whatever it is, and he's talking but it's really quiet.
It's muted.
Because I guess you're just picking up the audio through the camera or something,
I have
like
no
not
idea.
his mic, and then you see him lean forward, press a stream deck that is in front of him, and turn on his own
Yeah.
audio.
Terry was in control of his audio.
What are we doing?
Terry was sitting
what
there
are
with
we doing?
He had a little Elgato stream deck, Which if you don't know what Stream Deck is, it's
I
what,
gasped. I literally gasped.
it's what Twitch streamers use.
Yeah.
It was just sitting in front of him, and he started talking.
The
and
Stream
then
Deck is whatever. It's that
clicked.
he was
No, that's
controlling
what I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
It clicked with him like, oh, I've muted myself, and he like reached forward and pushed one of the buttons that like he was in control of his own audio.
That is so funny.
He had
It's
to
crazy.
lean forward and boop, press his own
And then he just like
audio.
had to repeat what he was saying.
Oh my god.
It did also make me question, why could we hear him?
Is he the one mixing it? Then?
He must be.
Something like
Well,
that, but I've never
but-
seen that in frame before.
That was the other. No, I've seen it in frame before.
You have?
But
Okay, I
the
never
other thing I
noticed
didn't
it.
understand is how could we hear him before?
It's probably they were probably picking up through a different source.
What I'm saying is whatever that source is always on. So once he turned his mic on, that's still picking him up, whatever
Yeah,
it was. Like if
I
it was the
don't-
camera audio, why the frick's that on?
That's
in
a
the
good.
booth.
That's a good question. They had two different sources.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why could I hear
if
Terry
it's-
at all?
Well, if it's like our ADEM right here, then I can select the audio for a camera.
I say
source as
maybe they
well.
had picked.
So if
don't
I
know.
accidentally have like a camera audio selected, then you'll hear it through the camera instead.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, not us because that's not how we run the audio. But
Yeah,
I
crazy.
thought I saw that. I was just like, you do always get a moment with something with the commentary team that is like a whoa, and like that was a big one.
Now, final thing about Tour Championship, my hope for next year, it's in Lynchburg, obviously. I really hope New London's done because I was thinking this whole time I was watching it, I feel like the Tour Championship as the final event should be 2 rounds open, 2 rounds wooded.
Yeah,
Because,
cool.
for instance, this tournament, Holland Handley had a phenomenal season all year long. But
Yeah.
then she gets thrown into a Tour Championship that is she's just at a disadvantage because of her play
It is
style.
crazy to play 90% of the tournament in more open courses and then play the Tour Championship at like the second most.
Yeah, because
course
she
the entire
played
tour.
a
That is
phenomenal
wild.
season all year long, had a great year. I think she was in second in the tour
Which is
points
kind of what
coming in.
Hornets Nest was. I
And
guess.
then she finished with $4,500 as her payout there.
Yeah.
It's like the bonus for that.
Yeah.
And if the Tour Championship comes here next year and it's only able to be at Ivy, it's the same thing in the other direction where, you do play wooded golf throughout the year. Like, to me, it should be the Tour Championship. Since you're using this to hand out the bonuses, basically, for how people played all year, it should reflect the style of disc golf all year and be a mix of open and wooded.
That would be ideal. I'll say this. Listen, start planning your trips now. We're going to make next year's Tour Championship the biggest, most attended Tour Championship ever. Heck, I guess we got to run some kind of event around then to bring people out. Like I think we need to like set a new precedent for what the Tour Championship can be
There you go.
because it's such a cool event.
It is cool.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Well,
like,
I think the new format will help. I think what hurt it is there's still a lot of disc golfers like me that when I hear Tour Championship, I think gimmicky. It's not anymore.
No, it's just tournament.
Because before it was like you had the whole bracket style. The best players weren't playing every day. It was hard to follow. It was very confusing. Now it's very straightforward. So I think that a few years of this, it'll help it. Also getting it away from Charlotte where
that's the main reason.
you have a major 6 days before, or what is it, 4 days before this tournament starts, you had a major with 5,000 people on the grounds.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes up the road, you have this event happening 4 days later.
Yeah.
You're not going to get people to come to both.
The weekdays will never be big, but like the Saturday and Sunday, it's the top 30 some odd players depending on how many get in.
Well, but like think about, I can think about my life, right? If I had both tournaments coming to Lynchburg, back-to-back weekends, one's in Bedford, one's in Lynchburg.
Yeah.
And I convinced my wife, I'm going to go all day Saturday and Sunday to the one in Bedford. The next weekend, I'm not going all day Saturday and Sunday to the one in Lynchburg.
No.
Like I used my one. I got it. I went.
I think the play would be to try to go like just Sunday to both.
But you get what I'm saying of like that to me
No,
also makes
I
sense
get
of
why
like
people
local.
aren't there. Yeah,
But
no,
that's why I
get it.
think it'll really help. Like there's a lot of people locally, Lynchburg, Richmond, Roanoke, who don't go to USDGC.
and no
now
one
it's-
has the self-control to choose the later one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're gonna choose the
True.
first one.
Well, it's
showing up
also-
in your
Well, and
town.
USDGC is a
USDGC
much
is
bigger,
just a
better
better
event.
event.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But all right, it's time for the fan favorite segment, Trevor's Trivia. Right after these messages.
That's
Okay.
Trevor's trivia theme song.
Here's the thing, guys. If you're watching this and it's already past Tuesday at 5:00, you need to as soon as you're done listening, go watch the reality series preview.
Or stop listening, go watch it, and then
I don't
come
know why I
back
just
to
called it
us.
preview. The reality series episode. Okay, Trevor's Trivia. So UDisc just came out with a new blog recently. They always do the most fun. I'll give them a shout out because they justice for UDisc. Because we're now one season into the stat keeping being away from UDisc, and I'm still in pain every single day. They just released a blog that was basically detailing their wish list feature and going over the most wish list courses in the U.S.
That's fun.
I believe it's just the U.S. Let me scroll here quickly. Yeah, it definitely is. Okay, So what I have here is a list of the top 100 most wish-listed courses in the United States, I guess, over the past year. And the way they have this graded is kind of on a scale. So the most wish-listed course is 100, and then everything prior to that is like basically scored on it's like a grading on a curve. What percentage of that top course is it?
So then just say this is the most wish-listed, the second most.
Right, so that's how we're doing the points. That's why I explained that.
Okay.
So you guys are each going to get 3 selections trying to go for the most wish-listed course. So this is based on just what people want to play. What's their dream courses? I think it's kind of goes hand in hand with kind of the series we've done this year. And then whoever can have the most points. Remember, those points are like the difference between first and even like once you get to 7 is massive. Like the top few spots are very important in this game. I will say that. Like the top 4 spots especially. So
who goes first?
I think we're going to have to do a little system for this. So I will pick a number between 1 and 126. No, 1 and 125.
Okay.
Mine is 8.
I have...
Did you have it already?
No.
Oh. Well, now I influenced you. Can you do between 200 and 385?
My number is between 200 and 385.
Okay.
184.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. What? That's not in the right realm.
284 is what I meant to say.
Is that allowed to stand?
Sure.
Unbelievable.
Wait, what?
It's rigged against me from the start.
I'll choose a different number if you'd like me to.
It's between 200 and 384.
I'm gonna go 303.
It was 200 and 216 was the number. I had remembered that was even in the range. So Connor, you guess first. That was a lot.
I mean,
so I get 3 guesses.
The guy guesses outside the range.
You get to guess first.
I'm gonna.
You get 3 total.
I'm gonna be
guy
so
guesses
bad
outside
at
the
this.
range.
I'm gonna be so bad at this.
Fascinating.
My rules, man.
Numbers between 0 and 10. -5.
Konner.
Now you're just being mean.
That's the same thing.
You can go first if you want to.
No, you go ahead.
Ooh.
Okay. The Beast.
And I mean,
in the
how many rules changes are we gonna have
inside the U.S., Connor?
Oh, sorry, Northwoods Black.
Really? We're gonna let that stand? That's 2.
Well, Northwood Black is not near the front.
Not what I would have said. So I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna do very poorly.
That's what you thought was the most wish listed?
No, but it's the only one I could think of at that moment.
Okay. Well, that is a score. To be fair, is the 16th most wish listed.
That's not that bad.
Not great for a first pick, but a good pick in general. It's 47 points is how much that is worth.
Okay. I would like Maple Hill.
Yes.
Oh wow, I'm
Maple
an idiot.
And
whoa! You get 1 pick.
I don't get 2.
That's not a snake draft.
Oh, I just thought there'd be some type of thing since I had to go second.
No. Well, Maple Hill is 1 worth 100 points.
Yeah.
So it is currently 100 to 47. Connor,
I'll go.
what is your next guess? This is going to be very important for you.
Crocole.
Emporia Country Club.
Man.
Gosh, Con, what are you even trying?
You know that this is. I'm not
break into
good
the
at
top
this. I'm not
gonna
good at this.
I'm gonna have to search for that one. See if it's even on here.
Emporia. Who the frick
I just
is
know it's a
Emporia?
popular event.
What is it called now?
I'm just
Champions
going
Landing?
after like
Champions
events.
Landing.
I'm just thinking events.
I don't think it's on the list.
Yeah. 0.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on the list. Let me just make sure it's not under like Country Club. It's not on the list. Okay, Hunter, go ahead.
I'll take Fox Run Meadows.
Fox Run Meadows is. Oh wow. Not. Oh, there it is. Number 20th on the list.
Okay.
That's 45 points.
This is from this year.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got
Connor.
like 5 courses in my head, and I know that they're all bad choices, and I'm scared because I don't know if it's a good choice or a bad choice. I don't know.
We've been to quite a few of the courses in the top.
No, I know, and I don't know the popularity of them though. I'm scared I'm gonna get made fun of.
It can't be worse.
Fountain Hills.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that's a
solid.
decent
Okay,
pick.
gosh, I was so scared.
I don't know if that's really popular anymore, though.
I know that's
I don't
well. That's
find
what I
it.
was thinking. Is there's not an event there anymore.
Fountain Hills is number 54.
Can I lose?
Worth 30 points. No,
lose.
you already
Okay,
have.
then New London, because I just want to know
New
where
London
it
is number 3 on the list.
Yeah, I thought it might be because of Worlds.
I thought New London wasn't gonna be that high.
Well, that's when he said this year, I was like, a lot of people are going to wish
that's
it was
what I
because of
have no
Worlds.
idea in my head where any of them are. So I was thinking, I'm not gonna say New London. They're gonna really make fun of me.
No,
I would have done great.
I mean, that's just people. I mean, think about how many people come here to play it. I mean,
I just don't know if it's inflated because of my experience.
Number 2 on the list is Eagles Crossing.
Yeah,
Number
that was gonna be
4
another
is
one.
Failure Lake. 5 is Beaver Ranch in Colorado.
Okay.
6 is the Canyons
Failure Lake
at
is number
Delwood.
4.
People love that course, yeah.
7 is Ottawa Wild. 8 is Blue Ribbon Pines.
Yep.
9 is Persimmon Ridge. 10
Interesting.
is North Cove. Then you get Flip City, Olympus at number 12, Diavolo at 14, Brewster Ridge at
Really?
15.
So Brewster was higher than Fox Run.
by 5 spots.
Interesting.
Yeah. Milo's at 21.
I guess we should have known that because Brewster was higher rated than Fox Run
Yes.
too. Yeah, I should have known that.
But yeah,
I think that it was completely
that regulator at
flipped
Rock
in my
Creek
head.
is number 29. We got to get down there, I think.
It's completely
Burlington.
flipped in my head of what courses are popular. But I think it's because like the courses
But like
that I know.
Maple Hill though, missing
Yeah.
Maple
No,
Hill.
I
Maple Hill
just
is
didn't think.
tough.
I just didn't think about Maple Hill. I just didn't think about it.
That's like-
Northwood Black too was that interesting.
It ended up being
Emporia
decent on the
Country
list.
Club was the.
I
that was
just
the
knew it
most
was a
dark horse.
popular event. I
Well,
was just thinking about
outside of
events.
guessing one outside of the country, that was wild number 1.
I think I might have
Then
been
Emporia
better.
Country
I
Club
wonder
was,
if Winthrop Golds is on that list. Like if people actually.
I thought that was going to be a stupid
While
one, too.
Trevor looks that up, I do want to shout out that starting next week will be episode 1 of the Offseason podcast, the podcast that runs during the offseason when debate night's not happening. You can check the link in the description down below if you want to submit your stories, topics, questions, thoughts, whatever to be on the show. This is basically you send us your stories, topics, whatever, and then me, Trevor, and Brody read and react to those. Also, we have a game on there that everyone loves where we basically show your picture, and then Trevor and Brody have to guess your division you play in or the rating, sometimes both. So if you want to be a part of that, you can email me a picture of yourself and a link to your PDGA profile to hunter@foundationdiscs.com.
Winthrop was number 40 on the list.
Okay, we got to fly through this part really quick
Yeah, we ain't gonna fly through it.
because we got to get to the top 10. In the bag, what we do, what the in the bag segment is,
hit us with it.
is basically there will be something like the best discs of all time. Okay, that'll be the prompt. And then each of us snake draft our list. Then we post our list on social media to Twitter and Instagram.
Anonymously.
So it'll be like team A, B, C, or person A, B, C. And then you vote on which one is the best. And basically by that, there's the best, middle, and worst. And typically that's all it is. It's just a fun little segment. This year, we're going to keep our ranking for the off season, which will be what, like 12 episodes basically? Roughly something like that.
Yeah, it's, I think it's like 12 or 13 weeks.
We'll keep, during the off season, we'll do this every week with a different prompt, and we'll keep the ranking of who wins the most and who loses the most. And then person who comes in first is going to get a prize. Person who comes in last is going to get a punishment. On this episode right now, I want us to throw out punishment and prize ideas, and then in week 1, we will pick out of the hat the prize, and we'll pick out of the hat the punishment.
So you want to do it? You want to do that at the beginning instead of at the end?
Or in the middle. I don't care.
I'm just saying, like the
I kinda
podcast that
like-
we're
end would
taking the
kinda be
idea
fun,
from is
But I
like, it was
kind of like
somebody
I
gets
like the idea of like all season
That's fair.
because I like the pressure building all season
But it
versus
might-
like.
it might be
well,
even
let's just
funnier
see
if
what
you
a
can't-
list is.
Well,
It
here's
might
the
be
thing.
even funnier if you can't mentally prepare for it.
Well, here's the thing. The prize is very easy to come up with. Like you can throw anything good in there and you're like, okay, that sounds great. The punishments are the harder thing to agree on. So I think that's where we need to start.
Tilt only at New London Longs.
Love it.
I do like that one.
Tilt only, New London Longs.
Although, didn't we decide there was one that was worse than that?
Zone OS.
Yeah, but
No,
the tilt
what-
is I like tilt better though.
Okay, tilt only.
Or
New London
Stego.
Longs.
But yeah,
Or
Tilt
the
has
3D,
the pop.
We could do the 3D printed tilt.
Well, we're gonna find out
We
what that
haven't- we
does
haven't actually
today.
thrown-
Let's say we'll
yeah,
find out
thrown that
today
yet.
what that does.
Tilt only, New London Longs is a great time.
Wait, I think the point is it will not be.
We could, yeah, that's the point.
We could do a punishment on your bag.
What if there's we could do a punishment on, you have to wear, like, we make a punishment shirt, and you have to wear it for every Grip Locked episode for the next season.
It's a podcast.
People watch, but, like, majority of people watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
That I feel like that'll stop being a punishment after the first time you wear it though. Like that.
Yeah,
really
that
just
would.
kinda
I
know
don't
what
think
it
that'd
is.
bother me that much.
It really only be the one
because
episode.
everybody knows it's a bit. It's not embarrassing.
Right.
It's just like, but no one's. Will people remember it when we're filming this episode next year?
That one wouldn't bother me personally.
That I don't think I'd be bothered
Yeah,
by.
I hated
either.
it too.
I'm just saying. Listen, we want to make it a punishment. You can throw it in there, but it just wouldn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, Konner, he just wouldn't switch the camera on to him. Problem solved.
I just don't think I'd care. I don't think I'd care.
If he cared,
Well, it's just
though.
a punishment too. Like you have to. That shirt just gotta sit.
It is-
You gotta wear
okay,
it
that
every
is-
episode.
that
It
is the worst
funny-
part.
That's what
It
I'm
is
saying.
funny that you have to wear it for every episode.
That's what I'm saying. Every episode of
That
Grip
is
Log, you
pretty
have to
funny.
wear
I say,
the
honestly,
same thing.
if
It's
I
not
think
really
about
a
the
punishment, but it is a funny bit.
Let's say if I think about the punishment in the scale of, I would probably just keep it at the office and then wash it like once every 5 weeks because you don't even.
I wouldn't wash it. You wear it for an hour.
I just put it over whatever shirt I was wearing. Yeah.
It would have to be a pretty criminally bad shirt, and to
whatever.
make it bad enough, it probably would get us canceled.
Well, to get whoever wore it canceled. Don't lose.
Don't lose. Your job is on the line.
Yeah. If you lose, instant cancel.
I like the idea of, remember the video we did? We threw 100,000 feet.
Yeah.
Something like that. You have to throw a certain amount of distance type
Yeah, that's
punishment
a good
because that
idea.
wore us out pretty good, and we could make it.
Well, we
even
each threw
worse.
50,000.
I think you make it somebody has to throw
someone has to
100,000.
throw 100,000.
Well, and what if
feet.
you have to choose a disc they have to do it with?
No,
With the
that's
Berg.
That's
No,
messed
because
up.
when we did it, we could choose whatever disc, and we only threw 50,000 each, and
And
like my arm hurt
it
for
wore
a
us
few
out.
days.
It wore
So
us out.
throwing
Well, I know, but,
100,000 by yourself.
It would just be funny if the punishment was I had to
It
throw
would be funny,
20,000
but
feet with
you're-
a Berg.
But 20,000 with the Berg doesn't sound as bad to me as I have to throw 100,000 feet in general. Because if
True.
you go
That's
100,000 and you threw 400 feet every time, it's 250 throws.
Yeah.
If you threw 400 feet every time.
It's a lot of
That's
throws.
a lot of throws.
And that's throwing 400 feet every time. If you go 200 feet, it's 500 throws.
holy crap.
Yeah.
I think I like this theme we're on of
That's
like
crazy.
annoying disc golf things.
Throw 100. You have to make a 2,000 putts because we know that takes 9 hours.
Oh,
Oh gosh, I don't know if I want to do that.
oh my gosh.
That was the 30-footers.
Those 30 footers. We could shorten it to 20 feet.
If we can shorten it, that'd be a lot better.
If we go
yeah,
to 20
'cause
feet,
I don't
they'll
think-
probably cut it in
Because
half.
so far, tilt only at Newland and Longs is
The most mild.
the most mild easily. Like,
Let's say make 2,000 20 footers
okay, I would do that.
because that would probably be 4 hours.
Oh, it would take me. Yeah, it would take me less than half of the amount of the 9
Yeah.
hours. Yeah,
But-
Okay,
that's-
okay, that's good.
Make 2,000.
Goodness.
it would still suck and be annoying, but it wouldn't be like that was literal torture. What I did.
Now that there's going to be this much pressure on the end of the bag, I'm going to get so much worse. Because before, well, that's the thing. Before, I was only saying things just to be funny on the podcast. I didn't care about the votes as much.
But people might think that's.
But
funny
now
to vote.
I'm going to sell out. And I'm just going to say things that I know will get votes. I'm just going to say, get Freaky Zone every time.
I don't think that would get you
just
votes.
kidding.
Try to find like one more, I guess.
Yeah, I
I'm going
think
to
one
stay
more would be
true.
good.
I'm still going to try to make Konner jokes. Guys, it was an interesting
We
choice to
could
do
do
on
a-
the podcast because we
we could do a
struggle with
mold
coming
band.
up with
We could do a
punishments
mold
all the
band.
time.
A mold. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal though.
Could be.
What if we did? Okay, I'm just trying to think in line of what we have already. What if we did where you had to keep throwing like backhand rollers until you landed one, like you rolled one into like a box that's like 400 feet away?
Ooh, what if
Like
we
a
did
trick
the
shot kind of thing.
We
Right.
could do the Simon challenge was how far back you could get in an hour.
Okay, yeah, I like where you're going with
You know what I'm
this.
saying? But we could do, you have to do the Simon challenge, which this was back in the day. It was like 2020. He started, and every
was
time he
fun.
made it, he moved back 10 feet.
Yeah.
You could have to do that until you get to 150 feet.
Oh, that's 150 is too easy.
What?
You can't move till you throw it in.
Yeah, I think that's too because you'd get.
We could do every 10 feet.
Yeah, but you
So
still have to
in that
make
process, you have to
100
make a 90 footer.
but I think you would get to 100 feet.
100-footer.
You would get to 100 feet in a half an hour, less than a half an hour. Probably.
I did it, and I did it for an hour for a video, and I don't think I got to 100 feet because you have to make it.
Oh, you have to go consecutively?
No.
No.
Oh.
But you still have to make it from each spot.
So you make it 100, 110, 120,
Hunter, how did you not get
130.
to
So you
100
I
have
can
to-
see when I got it.
so
It was,
you have
had
to
an hour
make-
to do it.
Right, but I'm just saying in this case you have unlimited time. Like I think the total challenge might take you an hour and a half.
I think it's harder than you think.
If you just have a stack of putters and you're just spamming at 150 feet, I'll make one inside of like 50 throws.
I mean, we can make it to 200.
50 throws from each spot, though. Because you still have to make 100, 110, 120, 130,
no,
140,
I think,
150.
but I think I would get to 100, like 100. When I'm at 90 feet, I'm still jump putting.
An hour
I think
in.
now I'll say this. I think we can fine tune this to definitely make this is definitely a good idea.
Let me
But
see.
I don't know,
Was that
150.
1 hour
Yeah,
challenge?
I need some scale for this. I need to watch you do it because that will help me a lot.
Let's see where I got to.
This is in an hour. How many discs did you have?
3, 2, 1.
How many discs did you
I don't
have?
know.
That's really important to this, to
Well.
the difficulty of this.
Congratulations. I'm going to lay in the hammock.
This is some funny.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I said I wanted to get to the 100-foot mark. I think that's what I did because it's 10, 20.
So you got to 100 feet. It took you an hour.
100-foot mark,
But I didn't
but
make
I
the
got
100
there like
footer.
30, 40 minutes ago.
So it took me 30 minutes to get to 100.
I
never
gotta
made
know.
it.
Go to the beginning. I gotta know how many discs you had. Because if you only have like 5 discs, then yes,
I didn't
that's,
have 5. I probably had like, if I remember correctly, I had like 30 or 40.
I just that, and I mean, I just watched you do it, but like that just seems crazy to me that you only made because.
Well, let's just see how far Simon got in an hour.
I'm just thinking about, I guess that'll help. I'm just thinking the 10 through 70 footer, I'm making each one of those in no longer than 5 minutes. Like even those longer
Yeah.
ones. So then, I mean, if I'm just zoom from like 90 feet with the same putter,
How did I find this the first
like
time?
it's gonna go in eventually. It's just odd.
All right,
I mean,
here, Paul did it.
It's going to go in eventually, but it has to go in eventually from 100, 110,
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
It has to go in eventually from every 10 feet.
Like you
until
basically have to
150 feet.
make 500 footers.
You're right. It'll happen eventually, but you have to make.
I could see it taking like 3 or 4 hours.
yeah,
I agree.
I guess so.
And you have to throw shots.
Paul got to
too.
200 feet almost in an hour. Nick got to 140.
Okay, and 200 feet is significantly okay. Nick Carl got what to 140?
140 it looks like.
In an hour.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like a Nick Carl caliber disc golfer got to 140 in an hour.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could take us 2 or 3 hours to get to 150.
You go ahead and put it in there for sure. I would hope I draw that one because
I'm willing to make it 200 feet.
Well, listen, I do.
It's just like, I don't think.
Listen,
I think
I'm
if we get
thinking
to
maybe
200
like 180 because I do understand that each 10 is a very big amount of time, but I feel like 150. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious now.
I'll go 180. I just think that could take someone 10 hours.
Yeah, we should probably keep it at 150.
Yeah, I think we should keep it.
Let's
at
keep it at 150.
Yeah. Just because you had to make every 10-foot increment.
Now I'm
Yeah.
I'm starting to think I might just have to do a live stream and just like
Well, you can't do that.
test this thing out.
Okay, so that
If I
that's it for
don't
the
get
punishments.
the punishment, maybe I'll have to do a live stream.
We'll
or something.
figure out the prizes later. I think prizes are easy.
I wasn't around when that trend was big. I'm just so curious to know how hard it is.
That's pretty tough because you're also tired.
Well, that in the hour challenge, yes, because you're actually trying to like sprint back and forth. If I'm thinking like if you have all the time and you're just cruising, I don't know, like the 100-footer. If you got a stack of 50 putters and you're throwing from 100 feet, I'll be darned if I don't make one inside of 2 of those stacks of 50.
Okay, let's take a look at we preseason predicted 2 things. We preseason predicted every win, and we preseason predicted the final Pro Tour standings. So preseason predicting every win, we each got 1 correct.
That's pretty good.
Konner got
Wow.
Simon winning Music City.
Dang. Big
Trevor
con.
got Gannon Buhr winning Ledgestone. And I got Gannon Buhr winning the Tour Championship.
But the problem
But
is,
whose was the most dark horse? None of them.
None of them.
the problem is we didn't know who were going to be the people that actually won tournaments this year because ultimately your best guesses would have just been to guess Gannon.
Now, for a
AB, and
tiebreaker, there is a winner that
back
won
and
the tiebreaker because one of us predicted Christian Tatar's win total exactly right. That was
which
our tiebreaker.
ended up being what?
I had Christian Tatar winning 11 events. Konner had Kristen Tatar winning 15 events, and Trevor had Kristen Tatar winning 8 events,
Oh, she did win 8, didn't
which
she?
Kristen won 8 events.
Wow.
So Trevor Staub's the overall winner.
That's pretty good,
nailed
honestly.
it.
Okay, especially because I like predicted she was going to have a downfall.
Yeah. You predicted 8 wins, and she had 8 wins.
I think
Now, she
I
didn't
was
play
like-
half the season.
Yeah,
but,
I guess
hey, it
that
worked out.
helped me.
Well, that's not fair.
It
I'm just
did.
kidding.
He got injured.
Yeah, if she had played more
She
of the
got
season,
injured.
it probably would have been closer to Hunter's total.
Trevor, you must have had something to do with that, didn't you?
Yes.
She got to 8, and you were like, "Get her down."
Now, the MPO, here we go, our final
Holding back.
end of the year prediction. So I had, mine's the top list is what Trevor said, correct? And yours is the bottom list?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm
my
almost
list.
positive. It'd be funny if I was wrong, but I'm pretty positive that I snuck Cole Redon in, and I remember you being like, "Oh man."
Okay, so I went. We'll just we'll get a point for each one we got right, just so that we know who we got right, and that'll make our math easier. So I had Gannon Buhr in first, so 1 point for Hunter. I had Calvin Heimberg in second, no. Isaac Robinson in third, no. Eagle McMahon in fourth, no. Ricky Wysocki in fifth, No. Ezra Robinson in 6th. I got close. But no.
Yeah.
Kyle Klein in 7th. No. Anthony Barella in 8th. I just started reading the actual
Yeah,
line.
you did.
Sorry. I had Kyle Klein in 7th. No, it was actually Ezra Robinson. I had Simon Lizotte in 8th. No, it was actually Anthony Barella. I had Matty O in 9th. That guy's gone. And I had Anthony Barella in 10th.
Yeah, our Matty O picks are the most interesting part of these lists, I'd have to say.
So I got 1 point.
'cause he
I
was so
only
good
picked
last year.
Gannon Buhr correct.
Nice.
Trevor went Ricky 1, Calvin 2, Gannon 3.
I think I got 0 points.
Isaac 4, Matteo 5, Eagle McMahon 6, Kyle Klein 7, Anthony Barella 8. 1 point for Trevor. 1 point for Trevor.
Tony.
Simon Lizotte 9, Cole Riddall in 10. So we each got 1 point.
Nice.
I learned something really important.
Wait, let's do it this way. Who got the most of their top 10 actually in the top 10?
Good call. Okay, I got Gannon, yes.
We're gonna need a bro battle.
Calvin, yes. Isaac, yes. Eagle, no. Ricky, yes. Ezra Robinson, yes.
I think you're going to win this.
Kyle Klein, yes. Simon Lizotte, no. Matteo, no. Anthony Barella, yes. I got 7 in my top
I'll say
10.
that's good.
I'm proud
I think
of that.
you win because I believe the difference
Then
is
you got Ricky, Calvin,
Cole for
Gannon,
Ezra.
Isaac, Kyle, AB. Yeah, you got 6.
Because you
I
had
got Ezra
in there.
Robinson.
That was a great pick. Ezra Robinson is probably that's probably one of the better picks of the season.
That was one
honestly.
off.
That was
I had
really
him in 6.
good.
He came in 7.
But yeah, I think if you look at those lists, it's really just wow. Matteo was so good last year, and we thought he'd be good again.
And he came. Matteo was actually
Not even in the Tour Championship.
not even in the Tour
That's
Championship.
so crazy how much he fell off this year. Where is he? You had to pass him.
Surely. 12.
Oh, he was.
12. Okay.
He was.
He wasn't Tour
I was
Championship.
gonna say
I was scrolling. I was like, where does this guy go? He gave him 12th. Okay, so he was close. But yeah,
Where
we
did he
expected-
finish in the Tour Championship? I don't swear I didn't see him
I
at
don't-
all.
Did he play the Tour Championship? Maybe he got hurt.
He was at USDGC.
Matthew, I didn't hear his name all weekend.
He somehow like last year he was invisible a lot of the season, but then there were parts where he popped off, and then like he was non-invisible because we'd be like, hey, there's Matty O in 3rd again. This year he was actually invisible. Like you never saw him. Did he not play well?
11th. Came in 11th Tour
So
Championship.
maybe Matty O last year was like always in 3rd. Now he's like always in 11th.
Maybe.
That's what we're gonna say about
Seems-
Matty O.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Nope, Silas selects.
Yep. It's an insanity.
Insanity.
What kind of guess was that?
What do you mean?
What are
There's a-
you up to with that? Your
What do you
turn to
think it
guess. You guess second.
I'm going Pixel.
Why are you guys all guessing trilogy?
We're
Or
not.
trilogy. MVP.
Oh, dummy.
No, it is a trilogy. They're actually the new trilogy. Streamline, Axiom, and MVP.
Give it a guess,
Give it a
Trev.
guess, Trev.
Truth.
There's a ton of MVP in our U section right now.
Oh, it was the
Streamline.
Ascend. I felt a fairway driver, and I felt the tooling on the edge, and I was like, it might have been the Insanity.
Dang
That's
it,
close.
Man.
It
was the Ascend.
Dang it, man. Well, I said Ascend. I said Incend.
The T. Incentive Baggy.
Ascend in the baggity.
That's going to wrap this up. Next week is the Grippies, the most prestigious award show in disc golf. You're not going to want to miss it out. Who's going to win Player of the Year?
Silas said it should
MPO's
be
pretty much wrapped up.
higher produced this year, so maybe we're going to make Silas produce it and make it awesome.
Yeah.
I've been huffing drywall mud all weekend. I think it's starting to wear on me.
Oh.
FPO Player of the Year is going to be interesting. And then obviously we got the Fire Fest of the Year. We have Choke of the Year. We've got some new awards that we're doing.
Trevor's
Then
been making notes.
I actually
finally-
made notes this year.
Finally, the most prestigious award of them all, Podcast of the Year, will be handed out. Can we
That's-
win it 3 years in a row?
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Find out.
Tour Life, people have been saying.
I heard they might get nominated this year.
Oof, that'd
Yeah.
be crazy. First nominee.
The kid, who's going to win
Find out.
Kids' Choice Awards?
We'll find out.
We have
all,
slime this year as well.
All will be. Time will tell next week, 5 p.m. Monday. The Grippies. We'll see you then.